So sitting here comfortably, pausing in the day, just letting go of what has happened so far. And to help us take this pause and to just encourage some relaxation in the body, we're going to take some nice slow breaths. And I don't want you to change or control your breath in any way. Simply want you to count. As you next inhale, how many numbers each in-breath naturally is. You don't need to force that breath, just counting up from 1. And then pausing after your inhale. And as you exhale, see if you can count the breath the same number. So again, just a gentle breath, not forcing in any way. Just seeing how long you inhale for. And then seeing if you can exhale for the same number. And it's a really gentle breath, really encouraging breath. So if you're not sure on this, for me, I just count up to 4. Just slow and steady. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just exhale the same. So we're balancing the breath here today. Giving the inhale and exhale equal weight. Counting your inhale. And then just counting out the exhale. The same number. A simple breath. A gentle breath. And while you keep counting, and just explain the benefit of this balanced breath. Just helping to naturally slow down the breathing once we begin to focus on it. You might find your count slowing down, or perhaps in your next breath you are able to just add 1 to that count and breathe for a little bit longer. And then add 1 to your exhale. As we count the breath, we completely focus the mind. It's a bit like counting sheep when you go to sleep. And you focus there. It's quite hard to focus on anything else. So just counting the breath in, perhaps this time adding 1 more. So 2 more than your original. And then exhaling with that extra count. Now as you slowly now deliberately lengthen out your breath, just encouraging more calm and relaxation in the body. The slower we breathe, the slower we become. The slower our thoughts. The slower our heart rate. Just keep slowly breathing in and breathing out. Keep the count as it is, or maybe adding just 1 final count. Really extending that breath, and without suffering in any way. And the slow, deep breath starts to switch on what's known as the parasympathetic nervous system. It's a very technical way of saying our relaxation mode. So the opposite to fight or flight in the body is to relax, to rest and digest. So the slow breathing is telling your body that it is safe, that you are at peace, you're at ease, and the very clever body will begin to focus on some important work in the background, on digesting, on healing, on building new cells. All of our important functions happen best when we rest. So that's why we do this little pause. That's why we take these slow breaths. Do 2 more rounds, counting that breath, whatever count feels most comfortable for you now. Exhaling slowly. And then 1 more, inhaling slowly. And exhaling slowly. And then as you next inhale, let's start to just get some gentle movement into the body. So take your arms now out to the sides. Reach them up to the sky. And take a big stretch. Maybe you look up to your hands, letting the neck lengthen out, the throat in particular. We spend quite a lot of time looking down. Take a moment to look up. And then slowly bring the hands back down. Bring the head back down. Bow your chin. See if you can get that chin as low as possible. And then softly come back to what feels about neutral. Take the head slowly to one side, dropping your ear down towards your shoulder. And then through the center over to the other side. We won't hold anything for too long today. And then placing your hands either back on your lap or to your side, we're going to circle the torso. So what I mean is we're going to start to bring the chest down towards our lap. And then we're just going to go over to one side, circle back towards the back of the chair, and then come forward again. So you should feel as if you're making some big circles there with the chest. Just looping around, your hands resting, so your elbows will be bending and straightening. And there'll be just a little bit of movement in the wrists. So you can just do this as big as small circles as you like. And then keeping this idea of balance today, we'll circle the other way. So just rotating round. So a little bit of movement in the spine there, in the hips. Feeling your seat nice and firmly resting down still. So just moving through the upper body. Let's do one more lovely circle. And then coming back to the center, take an inhale, keep the hands on your knees. And just imagine you were pulling your chest forward, and again take a little look up to the ceiling. So you're pulling the hands onto the knees, so your chest comes forward, your head lifts. And then as you exhale, chuck your chin back into your nest and imagine you're pushing your back as far into the back of your chair as possible. As you inhale, you're pulling your chest forward, looking up. And then exhaling to round the back. Shoulders come forward as the chest pulls back. Just one more like this. Inhaling, lift the head, lift your chest up. Get a little arching in the back. And then exhaling, round your back. Let your chin tuck down nice and heavy. Slowly coming back up. Take a couple of rolls in the shoulders. Loosen up and then roll the other way. Where it feels a little bit strange. And then let's bring the hands off the knees up in front of us. And just give your fingers a little wriggle out there towards the camera. And then we're just going to stretch out the fingers one by one. So lifting up your little finger on your first hand, just gently, tiny stretch towards you. And then the second finger. So just going one by one through the fingers, giving them this little stretch very gently. Just checking in how all those joints are feeling. Moving on to the other hand. Don't worry, any little pops and clicks, there shouldn't be too many, but they're fine. As long as it doesn't hurt, then it's not a problem in your body. It's just you adjusting. Do your last fingers. And then gently bring the hands together. And let's clasp all those fingertips together. Push the palms away. Get a nice spread now through all those fingertips. Release the hands and then see if you can change the cross. So you'll know you're doing it right when it feels a bit wonky. So the opposite little finger comes on top and then do the same thing. Just lift and spread those fingertips. Nice stretch there. And then we're going to keep the hands like this. Inhale to lift up all the way to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, take a little lean over to the right. See if you can pull your ribs in and pull your belly button in towards your spine. So just leaning over to the side here. And then release the bottom hand. Let that one come down. And then just keep going and just take this nice big stretch. See how far you can go without falling off your chair. Reaching all the way across. You might start to feel that down into the hip. And then take a big inhale. Let's lift back up. Clasp your fingertips back together. You'll probably go the natural way. Reach them forward. And then lift all the way up. Big stretch there. And let's lean over to the other side. So same thing. Start with the hands together. So you're making this sort of crescent moon shape. Pushing the hands up. And then eventually you can just let the bottom hand release. And then just take this lean over, see how far you can go without falling off your chair. Nice big stretch up underneath the arm. And then inhale, coming back. Bring both hands now behind you. So maybe you need to sit forward on your chair, as I'm doing. Clasp your fingertips back and just pull the hands back. So again, the chest comes forward. Get a nice squeeze of the chest. And just let those hands drop low. Take a big inhale, filling up your chest like a big balloon, lifting all the way up. And then as you exhale, we're going to bow the belly down onto the legs. We're going to let the head drop. So just take a little fold there. Your hands can stay down on your hips, or you can lift the hands up. And just let the head slowly come down. If that feels okay, your head can drop between your legs. Just taking one more breath here. And then ever so slowly, pull back with those hands. And lift yourself back up. Shake out the arms. We'll just release all that. And then we'll do one little twist. So bring your right hand onto your left knee. And then we're going to pick up this other arm. We're going to reach it all the way up. And then imagine you're painting a big circle around behind you. And then just follow that hand. Maybe you rest it on the top of your chair. You just take a little look behind you. Inhaling here. And big exhale. Just 2 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more breath. Inhale. And then exhale. Bring that palm back up to the ceiling. All the way forward. And then place it onto the opposite knee. Same thing other side. Inhale. Sweep the arm all the way up. Take a big circle round. Perhaps resting on the back of the chair behind you. Big in breath here. Into the chest. And exhale. 2 more, inhaling and exhaling. Last one, inhale and exhale. As you inhale, lift this hand all the way back up, sweep it over the ceiling, back down, rest the hands on your legs. Close your eyes again. Maybe take a little roll of the shoulders here, as if you were just swimming those shoulders and then maybe rolling them the other way. Take any last little movements here that you want, and then come back to sitting still. Letting the hands rest on your knees, letting those feet find themselves placed carefully again onto the ground. And just feeling that little bit of energy that you've built with those gentle movements. Noticing now, if you take a count as you inhale, if that breath is naturally a little bit longer. Again, counting without forcing, without over doing the breath, just simply checking in. And then again, use the same count to breathe out. Just 2 more breaths like this. Counting as high as you can go without any undue stress. And then letting it go. Take one final count like this. And then just gently, you let the breath go. So using this simple tool to balance out the breath, just balancing out the 2 sides of the body, the 2 sides of life, the energetic inhale, that breathing life into everything you do. And then that just cooling, calming exhale, relaxing everything, slowing it down. It's vital to have the balance between the 2. And then extending the breath just to help increase that sense of calm and ease in the body, to encourage that lovely rest and digest mode. So do take a moment throughout the day to take these slow breaths and to just switch the body into that rest mode. And just see the impact that might have on not just your physical health, but your mental health, your ability to just take a moment of calm. When you're ready, you can gently blink open your eyes, and you're ready to face the afternoon.